Right, our first question says square RSTU is inside trapezoid RSBU. What is the measure in degrees of angle VSR? So we are solving for angle VSR. So that means that we want to know what this portion here is. So I have two angles making up that total angle there. And I know that the corner of a square is 90 degrees. So right here, where I have this corner of a square, I know that this angle is going to be 90 degrees. I also know that this here makes up the corner of a square as well, which means that is 90 degrees together. So if we already have 45 here, then that means we would need another 45 here to make a total of 90. So then I'm going to go ahead and add together 90 degrees plus 45 degrees. And that's going to give me 135 degrees for my answer. Right, 16, the angles in this diagram are complementary, which means it is a 90-degree angle. What is the value of x? So that means that I'm going to add these two angles together. So my equation is 4x plus 2x plus 6. And I'm going to set that equal to 90. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve this equation. So I can put together 4x and 2x. That's going to give me 6x plus 6 equals 90. And then I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. And we get 6x equals 84. And then I divide by 6 on both sides. And that is going to give me x equals 14. So x equals 14. Our next question says, in this figure, ST is a straight line. So if it is a straight line, that means it is a supplementary or 180-degree angle. So that means that I'm going to say x plus 2/3 x equals 180. So remember that this is 1x here if there's no number. So 1x plus 2/3 x would give me 1 2/3 x equals 180. And then to solve this, I would need to divide by 1 2/3. So x equals 180 divided by 1 2/3. I'm going to change that to an improper fraction. So x equals 180 divided by 5/3. And then I'm going to keep change flip. So 180 times 3/5. So 180 times 3 is going to give us 540. And 5 times 1, because this would be over 1, is going to give us 5. So 540 divided by 5 is going to simplify to 108. So the value of x is 108. Our next question says, Martin ordered a pizza with a 16-inch diameter. Ricky ordered a pizza with a 20-inch diameter. What is the approximate difference in the area of the two pizzas? So to calculate area of a circle, we need to do pi times radius squared. So if the diameter is 16, and that's all the way across the circle, it means the radius is 8. So for the first one, we're going to do 3.14 times 8 squared. And that's going to give us 200.96. For the second one, if the diameter is 20, that means the radius is 10. So we're going to do 3.14 times 10 squared. That's going to give us 314. And then it says, what is the difference, the approximate difference? So I'm going to do 314 minus, and because this is approximate and we're rounding, I'm going to round that to 201. And that would give us 113. Right, our next question is a scale drawing, and we want to know what the area is. And the first thing it tells us is that 1 inch is equal to 16 feet. So I need to go ahead and convert all my measurements to feet. So if 1 inch is equal to 16 feet, then 3 inches is equal to how many feet? So to get from 1 to 3, we need to multiply by 3. So we're going to do the same thing in the bottom. And that would give us 48 feet. Right? We're going to do the same thing for all of these. So my new dimensions are 48 feet, 64 feet, 28 feet, and 36 feet. And now I want to go ahead and calculate the area. So I'm going to split this up into 2 separate rectangles. So my first rectangle is 36, and it has a height of 48. So I'm going to do 36 times 48, and that's going to give us an area of 1,728. Right, my next rectangle has a height of 28, but I need to figure out what this portion here is. So I know the whole thing is 64, and then I know that this portion here is 36. So if that's 36, but the whole thing is 64, then that means left would be 28 feet. So this portion here is 28 feet. So then we have a 28 by 28 square, and that's going to give us an area of 784. So then I'm going to add together 1,728 plus 784, and that is going to give me 2,512. And it says to the nearest 50 square feet. So 12 would tell us to round down. If it was more than 25, then we would round up to the nearest 50 feet. But we're rounding down, so that's going to give us 2,500 square feet. Our next question says, circle M has a radius of 7. The shortest distance between P and Q on the circle is 7.3. What is the approximate area of the shaded portion? Right, so in this question, the distance between P and Q here is 7.3. That is the outside portion of the circle. So we're talking about circumference here. So to calculate circumference, I need to do pi times diameter. So if the radius of the circle is 7, that means the diameter is 14. So I'm going to do 3.14 times 14. And that's going to give us 43.96. Right, we only want a portion of the circle. So we want 7.3 out of 43.96. So we're going to figure out what percentage that is. So I'm going to say 7.3 out of 43.96. And I'm going to divide that to see what percentage it is. All right, when I divide that, I'm going to get 0.166. So that would be about 16.6%. All right, we want the approximate shaded area of the circle. So now to get area of a circle, I'm going to do pi times radius squared. So 3.14 times 7 squared. And that's going to give me 153.86. And that's the area of a full circle. I only want to know what 16.6% of that circle is. So now I'm going to take that answer I got for the area and I'm going to multiply that by 0.166 or 16.6%. And that's going to give me 25.54. Now, because we were rounding here, we want the approximate area, we would be closest to 25.6. All right, and lastly, we are calculating the surface area of this prism. So that means we're going to find the area of all the faces and add it up. So on a triangular prism, we have 2 triangles and 3 rectangles. So to get the area of the triangle, I'm going to do base times height divided by 2. So 4 times 3.5 divided by 2. And that's going to give us 7. The other triangle will have the exact same area, so they both have an area of 7. And then for the rectangles, the bottom rectangle here is 4 by 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. And then the right and left rectangle, so the right is 4 by 5, which is also going to give us 20. And then the left rectangle is the same. It would be 4 by 5, which also gives us 20. So I'm going to add that up. And that's going to give us 74 when we add it up. So B, 74 centimeters squared.